Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It's a Sunday, another opportunity to learn, to grow, and become a better person. Call your neighbors, your friends, your relatives. Tell them we are here, we are about to start the Sunday session. And today, we're talking about AI myths. We're talking about AI myths. Join us. Good afternoon to all of you. As you're joining us, tell me where you're joining us from so that I can welcome you properly. Say hello to all of us. Tell us where you're joining us from. We do these Sundays, every Sunday we get together here and we've been talking AI, but I'm also telling you about what we've launched this year, the Make Education Fashionable Awards and Convocation. So this year, the Make Education Fashionable campaign, the Make Education Fashionable campaign, as it happens every year, is on the first Friday of December. On the first Friday of December, we share our pictures, our stories of victory. And I know that many people did not enjoy their graduation during COVID. And so we have created the Make Education Fashionable Convocation, where we're going to get our regalia and we're going to meet face to face, dressed in our regalia, and we're going to have a procession at the Make Education Fashionable Convocation. And to attend the convocation, you have to be a graduate of a college, of a TVET, of a university or University of Technology. You just purchase your ticket and you attend the Make Education Fashionable. You come with your regalia. And we're going to have a procession. We've got different pricing levels for under people who have a bachelor's degree, those with a master's degree, with a PhD, and also for professors. If you're a professor, then you buy your ticket price is different, and we'll have different seating arrangements and acknowledge people accordingly throughout the event. So make sure that you do not miss the Make Education Fashionable Convocation. The convocation is happening on the 6th of December. The campaign, the social media campaign, is on the 5th of December, where we'll be posting our pictures with the hashtag Make Education Fashionable. And of course, the most inspiring story that will have been published on Friday, the 5th of December, will also win a prize. That's a surprise prize, and we will announce it on the 6th of December at the convocation. But we do have awards, 150,000 rands to be won. It's 5 categories of awards, but actually 6 awards, because the one category has got 2 awards, and that's the category for mathematical sciences, because we're giving them someone who completed their master's degree and someone who completed their doctoral degree. We've got a panel of judges for each of the categories. So we've got a category for a young entrepreneur, we've got a category for agriculture, and the category for agriculture is not just for South Africans, it's for anyone, anywhere in the continent can be nominated for that award of agriculture. Of course, you have to be a graduate, but you don't have to be an agriculture graduate. You just have to be in agriculture. Okay, whether you're doing agro-processing, whether you're a farmer, you just have to describe what it is that you're doing. And then we've got a prize. Again, it's open for anyone on the African continent. That's the prize for research that focuses on problems of Africa. There's a prize to be won for that. All right. None of the prizes are less than 10,000 rands. And this, I'm talking money. We're giving you the money. We don't dictate to you how you spend it. All right. So we've got entrepreneurship, we've got the African Development, the African Solutions Award. We've got an AI Champion Award. If you're championing AI, whether because you're in tech, or maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're an AI enthusiast, please nominate yourself. or nominate someone who you know is in that space. All right, make sure you nominate someone who's in that space so that people can get their awards. We've got agriculture, entrepreneurship, AI champion, African solutions, and the 5th award is for Black African, South African women who completed their master's or PhD in mathematical sciences. And the main reason of that award is this idea that I was the first to get a PhD in mathematical sciences, in mathematics education. And we want to mark all those women, Black African, South African women, because we are few. There's too few of us getting into mathematical sciences. And we want to reward those people who go in and also support them. All right, so that's why we're giving 2 awards. Each award category has got judges who are not only from South Africa, they're from all over the world, and they'll be sitting and judging the nominations. The nominations have been coming fast and furious. So far, we've got more than 100, and every award has got nominees. So don't waste time, nominate. This is going to be an event of the year. Whether you're nominated or not, whether you're winning or not, make sure that you buy your ticket to attend the Make Education Fashionable convocation. We're going to be having a regalia. I'm taking my regalia for dry cleaning, and I'll be there with my regalia. I just have to choose which one do I wear because I've got too many rights. So just decide which one to wear. And I'll be there ready to take pictures with each and every person who's attending. So make sure that you attend that. If you feel you don't want to attend, or if you feel you want to give me a birthday gift, buy 10 tickets to the Make Education Fashionable convocation on the 6th of December. Tell me about it, and I'll run a competition, and we'll give some people the 10 tickets to attend the Make Education Fashionable convocation. All right. As I said, the prices are different depending on on your level of education. I know that people are grumpy and they are saying, why is it only for people who have post-school education? By the way, whether it's a diploma or a certificate or a degree or a doctorate, as long as it's a post-school qualifications, it will get you a ticket into the convocation. So we're not just prioritizing universities. We want TVET graduates too. We'll get people, employers, companies that employ people. We've identified a company that has won an award for the best employer of the year for the past 3 years. They've been the best employer. And we are saying, if you're a top employer, you have to be at the Make Education Fashionable, where young people have degrees and they're looking for jobs. And so that company will be there, and they'll probably talk to us about why they are the top employer. And perhaps they will even share with us, how do you get a job at their company? So there will be lots of companies that will be with us, people who will give speeches. We're inviting inspiring leaders will come and speak to us at the event. All right, so let me see who's in the room. Oh, Vivian, yes. Sis Teresa, thank you very much for joining us, Sis Teresa. I can see Nkwe Khari. Thank you, Nkwe, from Soshanguve. Denver Webster, thank you for joining us from KZN. Naomi from Namibia, thank you so much, Naomi. You join us every week, and I really appreciate it. Victoria Haukongo from Namibia, thank you so much for joining. I love Namibians joining us. Thank you so much. Manini Sokela and is joining us. I don't know where Manini is joining us from, but thank you very much, Manini. Witsepo is joining us. He says from South Africa Northwest Province. We don't know whether it's Taung or it is Temba. We don't know, but it's in Northwest Province in South Africa. Queen Vivi says, I'm deeply grateful and honored to be selected as one of the winners of the Microsoft Elevate Here program. Thank you for this recognition and for championing women in technology. This means a lot to me. Thank you, OST, for your participation. Others who are on the line know that there are prizes to be won. We identify people who engage the most during the YouTube session, but also with the posts that I put up on AI, and just look for Elevator, hashtag Elevator, and you engage there, and we identify winners. So last week I made you aware that Teresa, Queen Vivi, and Sylvester Molokwane were the winners. This week the winner is Professor Chioma. Professor Chioma, I can't remember the surname. Professor Chioma engages a lot on LinkedIn with my posts, and she's the winner. So congratulations again, Teresa. And Teresa says, I'm looking forward to the Make Education Fashionable convocation. Thank you so much, Austi. We'd really love to have you there. And let's see, Denver is there, Denver Webster. And then be Brenda, hello there, nice seeing you again. Distinct Mentor says it's about time education becomes fashionable, especially on the African continent. Absolutely, and that's what we're doing. We do this, the Make Education Fashionable campaign, social media campaign. We do it every year since 2015. But now we're rewarding, we're giving awards that are meaningful and that will also give you something in your pockets. Laja says, okay, I can hear you, Laja. Yes, welcome, Laja. Zipporah, welcome for joining us, Zipporah. Yes, and Melody Shong. Of course, I'm a little bit tired. I was celebrating my 59th birthday yesterday. It was rockers the whole day, right? The whole day. I think I slept at 1 o'clock. So, but you know, it's job. We are here today to do our session. But I can see there's too few people, but I'm going to call Sylvester and Sulu to join me so that we can start talking about the myths. And there's a good reason why I wanted us to talk about the myths. It's important that we talk about these myths because they are so pervasive. They are so pervasive. We hear them everywhere. Some people are intimidated by them. Some people hear them and they think they're true. And so I thought, let's talk about the myths, AI myths. I had put a few polls on different social media pages for people to engage with, and but I thought let's call Sylvester, our in-house AI enthusiast, to come and talk to us about this, but also Tsulu, who's our in-house AI specialist. And both of them will join us. There's number one, Tsulu's here. Right, Tsulu, remember, is an economist. Tsulu is an economist who's also an AI specialist. Tsulu, I forgot how you said your title is. There you are.
No.
Hi, Tsulu.
No problem.
How are you?
Hi, Prof. I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I forgot how you put your title together, an economist, AI specialist.
So, innovation economist,
Innovation
right?
economist.
Economist who is specializing in the area of innovation, how innovation is created, and how, organizations capitalize on that innovation, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a senior solution engineer for cloud and AI.
Fantastic. I'm hoping that Sylvester will also join us. I've just sent a message again, but we'll see if he's able to join us. But Tsulu, I wanted us to talk about AI myths, and the important thing about talking about AI myths is because there are so many of them. So many people hear these myths every day. And some people get scared, some people get deterred, some people don't want them to try. Some people even don't want to hear anything about it. And these are very educated people with doctorates in universities, and they tell me we don't want to hear anything about AI in our university because this is wrong. So I thought let's talk about the AI myths and bust them if we can. And those that are true, we can say, yes, it's true, of course. All right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the first myth because I published on the different social media pages and people gave me maths. And I'm going to put some of them here. The first one is AI is very disruptive and unreliable. What's your view about that, man?
Oh, I mean,
Disruptive.
right, that's
I would say Vele, it is disruptive.
yes, right. And we'd need to understand the question, so maybe let's unpack it, right?
Yeah.
Definitely, as the technology itself, yes, it is a disruptive technology. But you don't say disruptive as in a bad thing. It's a technology that's changing the status quo, right? AI is a general purpose technology, just like the steam engine was, electricity was as well, right? And it changed the entire landscape of how we see operate in the world today, right? So yes, it is disruptive by that sense, right? You've often heard about products entering the market or business strategies that are disruptive to the market. Just means it's changing things up, right?
Yeah.
Unreliable.
Is it
Tricky how you
unreliable?
define that. That's
How do you
very,
define that?
it I would say it depends. And that's, I think my undergraduate economics professor would really smile with me saying it depends, right? Because that's the typical economist answer.
Okay.
It really depends what you mean there, right? If your model, or let's say your AI, not even the underlying model, is not built on good data, it's built on sketchy data, broken data, biased data. Everything that you ask it and the answer it gives you is going to be based on unreliability. So yes, it will be unreliable, right? Right? But then also, so,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
go on.
Go ahead.
Okay, but with even the best data, right, and the best infrastructure underneath that data, right, because you have your cloud infrastructure that will then on top of that is sitting the data on which you train the model on, right, and then you have your AI on top of that. You should always make sure to check the answers, verify the answers of that, because yes, AI can make mistakes. You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's not necessarily that it's always going to be 100% correct. It will make mistakes every now and then,
Yeah.
right? Or some things may be not true. I mean, you've heard of the term hallucinations, right? Where an AI, based on the question that you've asked it, will, it sometimes will create an answer that doesn't exist. There was a very interesting case, and maybe we should, after this, we welcome Sylvester.
Sylvester, yeah.
There was a very interesting case in the legal industry, right? I think in the UK, back when ChatGPT was still relatively new. A lawyer was using ChatGPT to write, and I stand to be corrected what the legal term is, but heads of argument, something like that. And they took these cases to court to argue the case for the client. But the cases that it referenced did not exist. So that was all hallucination, right? It sounded right, it looks right, but it's not right. And that's the thing, right? Uncertainty, if we say that. I would say yes, it would be prone to uncertainty, and also it would be disruptive.
Okay, great. Sylvester, welcome.
Hello. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Great. So we're talking about AI being unreliable, disruptive and unreliable as a myth. Is that so? Tulu was explaining the unreliability. Your take?
Yes, that's true. Tulu was just talking about hallucinations, and in fact, hallucinations today are seen not as a bug but as part of a feature. In other words, when you're dealing with AI, LLMs specifically, you have to bear in mind that there will be hallucinations, that they are part of the creative process, and find a way to mitigate those. recent models like GPT-5, Claude, Sonnet 4.5, they far better. They hallucinate less, but they seen as just as you as a human being, you dream, you have thoughts, you have an imaginative process that usually requires you to live reality for a while. Even so, LLMs are seen, they're the same way. So hallucination is part of their dreaming, if you would, and that's where the scientific community, much of the scientific community, is now.
Okay.
So I think that ties into the possibility that AI will make human expertise obsolete. That's not true. That's why we still urge people to study and to try and be the best they can be in whatever field they can, because as LLMs becomes better and smarter, they need even smarter supervisors. They need bosses who can sign off on the business logic. So if you think LLM is just going to replace what you bring to the table for the foreseeable future, you are very wrong.
Okay, that's. I mean, it's interesting. I ran some exercise on. I know Sylvester likes GPT-5 quite a lot, and I asked GPT-5 to show me a picture of an image of someone holding a wine glass with the left hand, and it struggled. I mean, it gave me the right hand, and I said, no, this is not the left hand. I want the right hand. And then I asked it for a full glass of wine. Also, it doesn't give you a full glass. It always gives you, it struggles. You got to fight with it. No, this glass is not full. Keeps going. And it's sort of interesting because it suggests the idea that it works with the data that it's given. And what's the dominant data that it's given is people always writing with their right hand. People always holding the glass of wine that's half full. Nobody makes the glass of wine full. The glass of wine is always half full. That's the bulk of the data that it's got, and that's where it goes to first. It did finally give me a glass of wine that's half full, and it did finally give me someone writing with the left hand, but it was after a fight. And also it's also how you prompt it to say, no, I do not agree. This is not the right hand. It's not the left hand. I want the left hand, and then it comes back. So it's interesting that it works with the data that's given. So the hallucinations therefore comes from there, but many people don't take it that way. It's almost like it thinks for itself, but I don't think it works like our memories necessarily. But anyway, let's get to the
Yes, Prof.
I'm getting carried away. Tsulu?
Yes, on that, right? It's also very important to really structure your prompt correctly, right? You mentioned it was a bit of a back and forth, and finally you got your prompt correct to have GPT-5 give you the result that it wants, right?
Yeah.
You need to remember that what these LLMs are going to do are going to fill in the gaps if you don't give them the information. So sometimes if you don't have a good enough prompt, you're going to get not exactly the answer that you want, because it's not a person, right? It's going to extrapolate based on human reason and logic, right? It's going to fill in its gaps based on the data that it has, right? So that's why maybe the first one was, in a right hand that a glass was half full. But the other very interesting thing, and I always find it very funny, is that as these models get better and better, and the image generation focused ones also get better, they always struggle with hands.
Oh, is it?
They always, yes, hands and fingers.
Yes, they
fingers.
give too many fingers. Yeah.
Too little fingers, too many fingers. Like, it's so strange.
But it's because
so
people
funny.
also don't focus on the fingers. Sylvester?
Yeah, if I could interject on that, this is a very interesting problem. And I like what Tulu is saying, that, as these models become better and better, so you expect that as they become smarter, these are things that they'll master. But it turns out that there are things that they just can't seem to get good at, and that's one of them. Now that's led many researchers to say that LLMs will not take us to where we want us
By
to
the
go,
way,
because there are certain
people
limitations.
for the people on the line who don't know what you're talking about, LLMs is large language models, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for the most part, when you say AI today about LLMs,
Yes.
that's what the ordinary person thinks of. But it's important to understand that in the next 2 or 3 years, AI will mean something radically different. And one of the more promising fields of research now concerns world models. So LLMs are not enough to give us AGI, artificial general intelligence. And LLMs will never get to a point where they can reason, interpret the world with the intelligence of a reasonably smart person overall. That's because they're not complete. So that this is one thing that maybe we can talk about developing research, especially in the world of world models. There's a woman by the name of Fei Li, who is widely regarded as the godmother of AGI. I urge your the viewers to just check her up and check on what she does. It's a very interesting world. But the idea is, when a child comes into the world, we don't show them a piece of text. We don't show them books to read. That's not their primary way of accessing the physical world. But there's a way that the visual, you use your eyes, your hands, and so on to see what's going on, and you have a physical model of the world in your head. And that's where we're going now, where we give computers the understanding the ability to understand the world at a visual, physically native level. I know you find this.
I want to get to the second
myth. That LLMs are not complete in and of themselves.
Yeah.
So you still have to. Yeah.
I think you're right, Sylvester. I mean, the future is more interesting, but somewhat scary as well, because it seems as if we're going to a point where we want to give the intelligent machines the ability to generate new knowledge. At the moment, they actually work on the knowledge that we give them. They can integrate it in many different ways, as I understand. But we get into a point where some technologists are working on, innovators are working on getting them to generate. But let me get to the second myth, because I don't want us to lose direction of what we're talking about. We're talking about the myths. In one session, we can talk about the future. But here's another myth that says, I mean, this is a widespread one that says, and so we can start with you, it says AI will cause mass unemployment. That's the one that scares people the most. I mean, I've always said, well, AI is not going to take your job, but someone who uses AI is definitely going to take your job. But will it cause mass unemployment at all?
Yeah, this one is a interesting topic. Recently, we had a career fair at work, and I spoke to some young students about what the future holds, right, in tech, and this is one of the things that we covered, right? And I mean, the very short answer is yes and no, right? Right? Jobs will move, right? Jobs that now would need AI to do, just because that's where the world is going, and now AI does provide with capabilities that we didn't have before. The jobs that, let me say, evolve from that will be moved away, right? They will just migrate, right? The job itself. And this is just like any other technology that got introduced, right? Everybody was riding horse and carriage until Henry Ford did his thing. And then horse and carriage is not, there aren't a lot of horse and carriages around, which meant a lot of people that would rear horses and build carriages. I mean, those jobs went down. But now the assembly line, jobs on the assembly line went all the way up. And that's the same here, right? There's going to be a lot of jobs, not there's going to be, there are already a lot of jobs that are now either ingrained with AI focused, or have partnered with AI that are now growing. So just think of it this way. Any job that exists now, right, pair it with AI. So even from an agriculture perspective, farmers, right, that now can be augmented with AI, right? Right? There is already a science of agriculture. But now the next step of that science, of the data, how are you crunching the data? How are you making predictions, right? How are you planning your crop yields? How are you optimizing that? How are you seeing what's happening in your farm, taking in data from other different data sources and stuff, right? How are you making those decisions, right? AI can help you do that better, right? So that means that now the previous jobs that didn't, in the agriculture industry, that didn't necessarily need AI, now they'll need AI. And if you're not, to your point now, if you're not on the wave, right, if you're not upskilling, reskilling to now learn how to use these tools, unfortunately, the person who owns the farm, or even from a client perspective, right, if you own a farm, you're not capitalizing on these technologies, you're going to lose to the ones who are, because they can just do the job better than you can, or faster, or more efficiently. That's
more efficiently,
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sylvester, your take?
Yeah, I like how Tulu started it, both a yes and no. There's so much uncertainty still. And I think there's a sign that jobs are being lost, especially in professional spaces. So if you are an auditor and accountant, you should probably be thinking about a different job, because what's been observed now is that the entry level jobs are shrinking, but the others are still there. In fact, I'm looking at a tweet made by Sam Altman just now. So Sam Altman is the leader of OpenAI, and he says AI is coming for the jobs that one could easily do on a computer, but the jobs that are not done on the computer are probably going to increase, both in worth but also in overall size. So I think this may be good news for some, that if you're a farmer today, you're probably going to be appreciated a lot more if you're a bricklayer, because what happened with the first industrial revolution is it automated a lot of processes, as Tulu was saying now. If you are driving a drawn horse buggy, Henry Ford introduced the Model T, and now you were out of a job. But now it appears that there will be some kind of reverse, where manual labor is appreciated more, and that's a surprising outcome. I wasn't expecting that.
Because GPT-5 can't do welding.
Yes. For now,
it can't fix my leaking toilet.
Tolo's shaking his
head.
No, it's not black and white.
Yeah, tell me.
It's not black and white.
Yeah.
It's gray, right?
It's
so
gray.
Maybe just a parting shot here is
yes.
Look, the plumber who can integrate technology into his process may be able to actually fix your leaking toilet a bit better than the one who's just going to pitch up with the toolbox speller, right? The one who optimizes these things,
Actually, I'm thinking at the moment it's so difficult to get a good plumber that I have to wait 3 days. That the one who uses AI will probably do more jobs in a day than the plumber who doesn't. So it will make the current plumber much more efficient, which is great. But it doesn't do away with the plumber at all. Whereas what Sylvester is saying is that the low-level accounting jobs, assistant jobs, might be done away with. I don't know. Okay. So we've got to also be aware that it's not. I mean, there's also new jobs that are coming into play as a result of AI. We spoke some time ago, Sylvester. You were on the call, and we're talking about, for example, AI trainers. They didn't exist before. And now we have AI trainers. I mean, AI trainers, I've seen jobs on LinkedIn of an AI trainer in a space of mathematical sciences, an AI trainer in engineering, and so on. We've also had Wipelo, who's an AI assistant, something that wasn't there before. So there's some jobs. People talk about prompt engineering. I mean, who's that? There was nothing like that 3 years ago. So there's new things that are coming in as jobs. Some jobs, maybe people get replaced. So I think for me, it's the scaring of people that the jobs are going to go away. It's almost like there'll be nothing. But in fact, that the jobs may be reconfigured because of AI to make people more efficient. That's what I understand, Solo.
Yeah. Jobs will move from here and they'll go here, right? Yeah. But the good thing is that the jobs here might be bigger. The pie might grow bigger.
Oh, the pie might grow bigger. Yeah, that's a good way. Let's go to the third myth. Sylvester, I'm going to start with you. The third myth is that AI can't be creative. Is it true? It cannot be creative.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
So
tell us more, Sylvester.
So this is another question. Maybe that's related to the first myth we discussed.
Yeah.
It's a question that a lot of people have been thinking about. That how is it that AI can be trained on so much corpus of knowledge? I mean, frontier models have just about finished the internet now, and they're even creating new data of their own. But in terms of new research, like cancer research, solving math problems, this is something that if you give a human being as much data as a GPT-5 has access to, that human being will take us to the stars and back. But the LLMs are not doing that, and so that's another question. Although I have to stress that they have been doing some surprising things. For instance, about 3 weeks ago, GPT-5 won first place at the Maths Olympiad, International Maths Olympiad problem, which is 2 years ago that couldn't be done. 1 year ago, they were struggling, but they're getting better now. So, and I mean, anyone who's ever tried to write a Math Olympiad paper will know that's not something easy. So the fact that they are this good is in itself quite surprising, and it does promise that, well, we may actually get what we want out of them. But so far, the verdict is still out there. I mean, the jury is still out there. Will they become as creative as we hope they will be, or are we hoping for a different model like the one I was referring to just now? We don't know.
So look,
yeah.
Can it be creative? Yeah. AI can't be creative.
So I have a different view to Sylvester, and I'm just going to qualify that by maybe saying what Sylvester's answering is that, like it's good at assessments and tests and it will beat humans at that. And I'll say yes. When we're saying creativity, to me, we're talking about, divergent thinking, right? Be able to write a story, maybe draw a picture, something like that, right? And
yes,
I mean, and this is GPT-4, right? What GPT-4 was actually able to do was to actually outperform human participants on divergent thinking tasks, right? Being more original and also being able to provide more elaborate answers, right? And that's one of the things on how divergent you can think around a task or a question. I mean, the other thing is, not all humans are equally creative, right? So this could have been like a group of people who are not that creative. But the fact is, it has beat people at creative tasks. Okay? And that, I think, is just a testament to what it's been trained on and what it actually does, right? What an LLM does, what AI does, right? So yes, it can beat an average person at,
Creativity.
producing, diverse ideas, right?
Okay.
Now, the other side is because it's trained on like the human corpus of knowledge. Humans are really, really, really good at creating maybe things that haven't been created before, whereas I just said now GPT was able to outperform a group of humans, right, at a divergent task. So yes, it would be able to, like, if you were to use like GPT, like an LLM to help you with your creative tasks, you would be able to be more creative because it's pulling from the entire corpus of human knowledge, or at least the data that has been trained on. So it will enable you to reach a level of creativity that you yourself don't have, right? Because it's somebody else's level of creativity, and you sort of it's helping you up there, right? So if everybody does that, everybody on average would be more creative. The problem is, right, their diversity and creativity is going to narrow, right? Because there isn't new creativity
generation
out
of
there.
creativity. I get you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, and that's
because
what
with
humans
humans
are really
you
good
get
at, right?
new. So what you're saying is that the AI model can take what exists and use that to create something. But with humans,
Yeah,
you
it
are
can.
constantly creating. You constantly get new people with new creative ideas, and so you grow in this library of creative ways of being.
Yes, because everything that we create is a product of our environment, who we've interacted with, how we grew up, what we've learned. It's all of that, right? And everybody has a different experience of life. So therefore, our creative output even like may be similar, but it's fundamentally different because we just have, even the light that you wake up to in the morning changes how you think in that day. You see what I'm
That's
saying?
actually a
Whereas-
very powerful point, because that's actually what makes us more powerful than AI. That it's our intelligent assistant, but actually it can't replace us because it doesn't have the human experience like we do.
Yes. So what it would be very good at doing is making everybody, on average, just that much more creative.
Yeah.
But we should also just be careful to not destroy that diversity in that creative process, creative creation, because by definition, creativity is spontaneous, it's disruptive, it's destructive in some senses, right? And I'm not sure how we would classify an LLM as being destructively creative. There's a process behind it, right?
That's interesting. Interesting. Let me see if there are interesting comments here. There's lots of comments from Sichaba, who's having conversations with other people. AI, the Queen Vivi says AI is leading to job losses in some sections, or they're still on job losses. Let's see. Chava says, I agree with you, Tolo. You should check out the additive manufacturing space. Some machines even do paving guys, even bricklaying. I think we need to watch China, okay? Which means maybe China will start getting AI doing these things. And it says, yes, Mavesta, check out AlphaZero, which is a massive improvement from Deep Blue. It is a chess AI that beat the best chess players. Okay, all right. Talking about the AI that beat the best chess players. I want Sylvester, you to get us to this, because you talked a little bit about the Maths Olympiad, and one of the myths is that AI aces all tests.
Yeah.
So
okay,
Chava says
let's
they
start with
beat
it.
the best. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Chava is talking about the chess, but that one is actually old. The one that really showed us what AI is capable of was AlphaGo. I don't know if Chava is referring to that, or he mentioned it.
He mentioned it, yes.
Go is a far more complex. Yeah, Go is far more complex game than chess. And I think it was 2016 when Google Labs.
He actually, let me read you his comment. He says
pitted it against the best in the.
He says both chess and Go are strategic games, but all the combinations in chess and Go are at the same time master creativity. Same level master creativity. Yeah.
So, yes. So the difference between, like I said, that was 2016 when AlphaGo beat the best in the world. Between then and now, our understanding of creativity in this space has shifted radically. So, like it says, AlphaGo, Alpha Zero, these are specifically trained on one task. They are good at one thing, which is playing chess. So what research is leading us to is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, or ASI, artificial super intelligence, which is we're trying to build computers that will not only beat you in one thing, but that will beat you in everything. So once you have this intelligence, you put it, let's say, inside a humanoid robot. You walk around with this humanoid robot. This robot will beat you in every task that requires thinking or reasoning. So that's the difference between the AlphaGos and so on. But I just want to make one extra comment on something that Tolu said. I'm talking about LLMs, but I think Google Labs has won 3 Nobel Prizes in the last 3 years or so because of their work in protein and cancer research. So the leader of what's the I keep saying Google Labs, but they have a specific name that they use. But the leader of Google research in this space, Demis Hassabis, actually holds 2 Nobel Prizes in something that he did not even study, because he studied gaming, went into Google, started doing research in protein manifolds, and then won the Nobel. So I think that says something about.
But is it a Nobel? It's a Nobel for science. He won a Nobel for science.
It's a Nobel for science for pure. It's a Nobel for science for pure research.
Okay.
I think it's 2 in biology.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did this because they are using state-of-the-art, frontier research models. So I think that speaks to what Tolu is saying, that there is a lot of. It's just that maybe we're expecting too much right now. And the standard we're using is, if we gave a human being this amount of knowledge, it should be able to synthesize this much. If you're Einstein didn't need so much knowledge to get to the general theory of relativity. Maybe we're over expecting, but may give it 5 years, we'll start seeing certain things.
So
I don't know. Yeah.
So do you have anything to say about that AI aces everything, and maybe aces all tests, and maybe what Sylvester has said, or should I move on to the next? Yep, go ahead.
No, I mean, just a quick one. I do agree with Sylvester, but I also want us to just understand what AI does when it's doing something. Remember, AI is trained on data, on available data, right? So, of course, the data of a test that has been trained on, it will be able to ace that test. I would say that a person will beat AI on a test of which there is no available data available for the AI to leverage, right?
Yeah.
So we create a completely new, novel type of test, and we put a person and we put AI there. It's going to try to answer it. It may hallucinate some answers. Those answers may be right, but is it going to beat a person? I'm willing to bet a little bit on a very smart master student, right, on that new test, than the AI that has nothing to pull from to answer those questions. Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
That's correct.
So let me get to, I see we've got 10 minutes, and I've got 2 more myths and my closing myths, the myth that I want to close it. So 2 more. The one is, Tolu, AI has common sense. Does it?
Yeah, I mean, this is almost philosophical, right?
Yeah.
Is common sense is common sense something that everybody has? I mean, again, I'll go back to what the AI has been trained on.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people you've interacted with that you're like, no, Mara, this person
There's no common sense.
Why don't they know this thing? Yeah, right. Why don't you know this thing that you yourself think is just an obvious thing?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, AI has been exposed to that, right? And of course, there's tricks that people have done in their training and all of that. But to say AI has common sense, I would say it doesn't have common sense, right? Sometimes it will give an answer that you will just have question marks, on your head, right, around it. But that's just, it's a function of the data has been trained on and the model that is used to train it as well, right? And yeah, that's the short answer.
Sylvester?
Common sense, not necessarily.
Thanks, Tolu. Sylvester. AI's got common sense?
Yeah, no, this is an interesting one. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know because recently GPT-5 did something that impressed even Elon Musk. And Elon Musk hates the guys at OpenAI, so he'll never say
Yeah.
Yeah, but recently he did. Someone was asking GPT-5 a question, and the response was, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's something that has not been done before, because usually, I mean, I guess see Tulu's like, yeah, well, okay, that's usually, an LLM will just try, it will just hallucinate. If it doesn't know, it gives you something else, but the ability to say, look, the corpus of my knowledge ends here, I can't synthesize this, I don't know. That's seen as, something that was not expected, but you can see that these things are becoming smart. Although I have to say here, and this is a dark point to make, there have been a string of suicides where when you go back and look at the conversation history between the person who's passed away and ChatGPT, these people would go to ChatGPT and say, look, I feel like, life is hard for me. I want to end everything. And because of the way these models are trained, they would say, you know what, I think you're smart. I think that's a brilliant idea. Just finish it.
Wow.
And someone would go and take his life. So this is something that, Sam Altman is looking into, and other researchers.
Wow.
That doesn't seem to line up with the idea that, these things have common sense.
Wow.
But of course, when you go deeper into what the research is giving us, it's conflicting. But there are people who say, these things, it's possible that some already have some sense of consciousness, depending on how you define it. But yeah, I think for now, someone like me and your viewers, we should just take it that ChatGPT doesn't have common sense.
It's safe.
And
I
just
think
go
it's
there
safer
with
to
the-
do that. I think it's safer to do that.
Yes.
Can I just add something quick to what Sylvester said, right?
Yes.
Around the the string of suicides and the conversations between the ChatGPT, right? It's a product at the end of the day. It's designed to keep you engaging with it. You need to remember that.
Yes.
Right? So if you are saying something, it will give you an answer that's most likely to keep you engaging with it. Right? This person, I think, that you're talking about, I read the story, they had now a little bit of illusions of grandeur, right? Because ChatGPT was reinforcing that they are super intelligent, they're super capable, they could do all of these things, but in the real world, that wasn't happening. Right? Because in the real world, it's not a product, right? If you don't have a good idea, your boss might just tell you that you're being foolish and you should get out of here, right? And you think it's the best idea in the world because ChatGPT is telling you this is the best idea in the world. But it was a product at the end of the day that's telling you, that's keeping you to use those tokens. Keep engaging, keep engaging. So just remember, it's also a product, right?
Yeah, and that's what someone here says, and that's what you said earlier. AI can be creative rather than human. Humans guide their creativity and available information on the internet. I think Little has been talking about that on the comment line. about the fact that AI uses large models so it can generate text or whatever we ask it. Let's give it to them, blah blah blah. But let me get to the next myth. And it's the myth before I close. That one says AI deploys successfully at scale. Solo? Does it deploy?
My favorite one. This is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of my work. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
I love that question.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't deploy successfully at scale
Uh-huh.
because people think you can jump a lot of steps and you just want to do AI. AI needs a lot of groundwork, right? I've been talking about data. You know, your data needs to be in a state that is ready for AI to consume it. But then where's your data sitting, right? That's the other question. You see what I'm saying? So the infrastructure that the data is sitting on also needs to be in place. And that, when you have those two things correct, right, you almost have the winning formula. The last thing is you need the skills, right, to be able to deploy and use this AI at scale, right? So it's three very big things before you can do AI successfully at a large scale place. Like you'll find some of the biggest companies in the world, right? The biggest companies in the country will be struggling with the same thing, right? We can't get AI diffusion across the board. We know what the value is. Why is it not working? Okay, well, maybe it's because all your departments are sitting with their own different data silos and you guys aren't even communicating. Maybe you have half your data estate, half your infrastructure on premises, half of it is in the cloud, but you're not necessarily using the cloud. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of things. Or you have everything, but your people don't know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they don't know what to do with it, right? So, yeah, the answer is no. No, it doesn't. Evidence will say, my experiences will say that it doesn't deploy successfully at scale, but you can. It's definitely possible.
Sylvester, your thoughts? AI deploys successfully at scale. Does it? Myth or not myth?
No, Tolu is right when he says data says it doesn't. Last month, MIT released a piece of research that said 95% of all corporate deployments of AI actually fail. But of course, you have to look into the reasons why, and Tolu has just alluded to them. That sometimes they don't, one department is sitting on their own data silo and so on and so on. I just want to say that this one disclaimer that much of what we're speaking about right now, we're speaking about AI as performed by LLMs and the current limitations. But Tolu gave a wonderful definition of AGI earlier, that any creative work, he bets on a human being to win because the AI model is falling back on the data it's been trained on. So I think I would urge anyone listening or watching this to start thinking about AGI and ASI. It's not concepts that we think a lot about, but when that comes, it's understood that the world will be radically different. Much of what we're speaking now, within 3 to 5 years, it may be quite different.
Wow. Thanks, Sylvester.
Yeah.
Now, it's 1:06, and I want to get to this last myth. And I saw that Professor Chioma is online, and I saw she's the one who shared this myth on LinkedIn, and she says traditional methods of higher education, learning, teaching, and research are best with integrity and accountability, and she presented that as a myth. I also saw the comments that she also says on the comments, AI is avoided like a plague in academia. And Professor Chioma is very right. I know she's extraordinary professor at UNISA. She's a professor at some university, distinguished professor at some university in Nigeria. But I wanted to end with this myth and address it, and I'm happy to hear from you, Tulu and Sylvester, that people are worried about integrity and accountability now that there's generative AI, but actually the concerns about integrity and accountability are not new concerns. concerns about students cheating, whether at basic education or university, are not new. Cheating has always been there. People should not pretend as if AI is introducing unethical behavior. Thugs have always been there in our classrooms who cheat their way through. And I guess what the challenge for me here is not just that the learners or the students are cheating. It's both sides. So how are we as educators understanding our superpower? Our superpower is not necessarily to be the police for cheating, or our superpower is not even in the making content available, because content you can get anywhere. Our superpower is in understanding why we teach, and therefore being able to make the connection for our learners between what we teach and the real world. That's what attracts learners to class. But if we just dishing out content that they can get on the internet, on the podcast, in the book, in a way it's almost like, why am I learning? So if you understand why are you doing quadratic equations, if you can connect them to something, it's much more interesting. In fact, it makes cheating boring because you understand why this thing you need. But at the same time, on the side of the students or the learners, it's why do you learn? Why are you even doing this degree? I mean, it's not just for the content, because the content anyone can get. So what's the learning that comes from this content that you're getting? So I think it's for both. And if you're cheating, using AI to cheat, the issue is then you don't understand why you learn. You think it's just about the content, and so you're just gonna get whether a co-pilot to give you the content and you just share it. But actually there's more to learning than just content. And next week, of course, I'll be talking to Sabina, and what I want us to do with Sabina, what we'll be doing is to say to parents who are helping. We've shown parents, we said to parents, it is possible that you can help your children with homework, but using AI. But doing that doesn't mean that you just put the homework on GPT-5 and then copy for them, which means it doesn't mean that you teach them how to cheat or how to be stupid. We want to look at this in terms of how do you empower yourself to teach your child, not only to get the project that they're given at school right, but also to learn how to behave, how to treat the AI models. I don't know what your views are. You guys have been at university, and you, would you agree with me that cheatery has been there? What has AI done? I mean, I honestly think it's both ways. Any university that actually outlaws completely the use of AI is lying to itself, because in fact the students are going to use it, and in fact they're going to get better at hiding the fact that they're using it. You've got to make it difficult for the students by putting it right there front and center, and ask questions that make it difficult just to use AI, and in fact make them interact with it. And in a way, your graduates, when they graduate, they don't get out there and they have no idea. You don't help them to cheat, but you make it difficult for them to cheat by not policing them, but by the way you creative in your teaching and your assessment. Sulu, what do you think?
Yeah, I say, AI is a tool, right? We've been talking about AI as LLMs, right? It's a tool. Like, think of it this way. Okay, I've got two things to say. One, there's some universities that are using, let's say, AI detection tools to try flag some responses, some assignments as AI, but then those are also AI, and then they trust those completely, which I think is a bit hypocritical, right? You're saying to the students, you mustn't use AI, but I will use AI, and I won't even scrutinize what the AI is doing, right? And there has been cases where people have been flagged incorrectly. So there needs to be that mindset change on both sides. I would say, just as a tool, like a calculator or a textbook, right? I used to hate fear the exam that says no, it's open book,
Oh,
right?
it's the
Because that
toughest one.
exam, it's
It's
tough,
the toughest
right?
exam.
So if there's an exam that says, listen, you can use AI, oh man,
It's tough.
it's gonna be a tough exam. So I would say that should be encouraged, right? And the assessments should evolve accordingly, right? With AI in mind, so that you're actually testing the students. You're not testing just their ability to use AI, of course. All right. I that's what I think. As a tool, it should be used as a tool.
Yeah.
In the assessments.
Yep. Sylvester, your thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, my network has been acting up here.
Yeah, but we
But
can hear.
I think, yeah, I think it's true. I think it's true. The challenges you allude to have been with us for quite a long time. In the part of human nature, the rest of human nature. Questions of integrity, questions of why do we learn in the first place have been, discussed by Socrates and Aristotle. So they're not going to be resolved easily. But we have to find creative ways. Someone said before there were calculators, the children anyone had to use their fingers, whatever, and then a calculator came. There was an uproar, someone said this is cheating, but we're here now, so we can do the same with AI. So, but just to give this one anecdote. There's a woman I met on X, on Twitter, who said she was advertising her services. She said, if you're in an honors class, master's class, I write papers for you. So I reached out to her and said, do you really do what you say you do? And she said, well, that's how I make a lot of my money. So it's interesting that, this is how things have been. But now we really have to, these are questions of integrity, but we have to find creative ways to deal with them.
Yeah. We've got to find creative ways of dealing with them. You're right. I mean, there are websites, by the way, that write theses for students for masters and doctorate. You pay to get into their website. And I mean, I got to know as DVC research and postgraduate studies, you can see. And then I pay to get onto there. And then I find that actually the thesis is there. And then that's when you fail the student. Yeah, people make money out of this. So the cheating, and this started a long time ago, before AI, generative AI came into being. And as these things advance, thuggery advances as well. So we should not think we're going to stop technological advancement simply because we think it enables thuggery. Thuggery will always advance because, as we talk here about using the tool wisely and ethically, the thugs are meeting somewhere on how to use it to cheat us, So unfortunately, this is the nature of the world. But let me pause it here. Let me thank you, Professor Chioma. Professor Chioma is, of course, as I said, is a professor and head of Department of Microbiology at Port Harcourt University in Nigeria. She's been very engaged in these conversations, and I really appreciate it, Chioma. And that's why she's a winner for this week. And I hope Women in Tech will get in contact with her. And congratulations to you, Professor Chioma. And congratulations to the previous winners as well. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this week. Next week, I'm talking to Sabina. Sabina and I will be looking at real tasks that children at school are given. And then how you, as a parent, how you can use AI to help yourself. Not just like we did last week, just to put a prompt in J, but to teach your child in such a way that in the process of helping your child with the homework, you are also teaching them the ethical ways of dealing with AI, of using AI models, because our children are being born and are growing up in this environment of AI, and we want to help them. And whilst you are in a rush because you're busy, you might just put the homework into GPT-5 or into Copilot, and then Copilot gives you the solution, and then you just put it on the child's book, and the child gets embarrassed when there's hallucination, perhaps. So we want to hold your hand. So join us again next week, same time, same place, when we talk AI. And the aim, of course, in this platform is that we should all win. the idea is to win. AI is not going to win above us. We're not going to make us overtake us. We're going to benefit from it. We're going to make sure that we get better with it. Tsulu and Sylvester, thank you so much for always being available to teach us, to share your knowledge with us. It was very exciting today. The comments on the YouTube channel are amazing. People appreciate your inputs, and I'm grateful to have you as part of our experts that we can call on to all the time. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.